My name is Ayoub Mzee, Ben TV Sky Channel 184. First of all, I want to use this opportunity to commend the presidents from the East African region. I myself, being a person from the region and having been living in the UK for a long time as a journalist, this is the first time I'm seeing a concerted effort of selling the region to the West, and I want to commend you. Thank you. Now, the question to you is that you have spoken about media hype and misrepresentation. This goes to all the panel, especially from the Great Lakes region. Is it true or is it media hype that you can't invest on Lake Victoria simply because Egypt and Britain have got an agreement that was signed in the 1900 that is binding the East African region, that you can't touch the Nile region? The second question is about investment climate and good governance, because they go hand in hand, and political stability. Now, there are issues looming, whether it is media hype or misrepresentation, but I want to get it from you. In Congo, there is the issue of Ngunda and the concerted effort of the 3 East African countries who have gone into Congo. So there is a rumor in London that that war in the Congo might come back to East African countries and make it hard for people to question.
No, the British, the Anglo-Egyptian agreements of 1926, 1948, and all that were not affecting all aspects of investment. Some of the investments, if you want to put a ship on Lake Victoria, that will not affect you. But it only affected the aspects where you would interfere with what they call the natural flow of the water. In other words, these Anglo-Egyptian agreements were saying that whatever you do on the Nile, you should not interfere with the flow of the water. The water should continue to flow as if there was no dam, for instance. Suppose you put a dam, you should allow through the water in the same amount as if there was no dam. That was the only issue. But this one is being discussed by not only by Uganda and Egypt, but by all the 9 Nile Basin countries. And I think they're about to reach an agreement. They have been negotiating for a long time. Then also there was the issue of dividing the water for irrigation between Egypt and Sudan, because the British and their Egyptian counterparts reasoned that since Egypt was a desert and Sudan was a desert, they are the ones which needed irrigation. The ones which had rainfall, who were the other 7, did not need irrigation. So the 85 billion cubic meters of water, because that's the amount of water which goes through Khartoum. If you combine the Blue Nile and the White Nile, it is 85 billion cubic meters of water at Khartoum. This was divided in such a way that Egypt took something like 58 billion, then Sudan another 18 billion, and then we were not supposed to do any irrigation. So it affected only 2 aspects: power generation and irrigation for agriculture. But that one is being renegotiated. But the other aspects were not really affected by that agreement.
Thank you very much. President Kagame.
The issue of Congo and the rumor you say is spreading around is part of, I think, the problems area discussed. this issue was earlier discussed. I think there has been a misrepresentation of what the issues are in the Great Lakes region, or the root causes of the problems in the Great Lakes region. One time the media emphasizes that the root cause is exploitation of minerals and wealth in the region. But that really would not have been a big problem if it was about wealth, about mineral exploitation. The major problem is that there is rampant poverty instead that we are trying to overcome in our region. Those who exploit the minerals are different kinds of people who may not be living in the region. They live outside of the region. But they are not the ones being referred to as the cause of the problems in the region. But to cut the long story short, this issue of Congo, which has seen many other countries in the region associated with that, is gradually getting some solutions. And this is probably going to last because it is a solution that the people of the region themselves are working hard to achieve. It's DRC, it's Rwanda, it's Uganda, it's Burundi, and others beyond. They have had their own share of problems, either originating from Congo or associated with Congo, and like in the particular case of Rwanda, Rwanda has been associated with that problem in a sense that there are people who, well, first of all, Congo is a neighbor of Rwanda, and there are those who committed genocide in Rwanda who went and lived in DRC and, became associated with other problems that were there even originally, and things became more complicated, and security problems started crossing borders, and in this particular case, the border of Rwanda to destabilize our own security.